My fiancé ghosted me a week before the wedding. No calls, no explanation. Then I found out she was having closure with her ex. So I sold the ring and canceled everything. A few days later, she showed up crying at my job. Hey everyone! Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. Hey Reddit. So I was supposed to get married in 1 week when this shit happened. My fiancé disappeared and didn't answer my calls. For a moment, I thought I'd find her dead in a ditch. Nope, she just needed some space. Apparently with her ex. Here's what went down. Let me set the scene before I dive into the nightmare. I'm 30 male, a project manager at a construction company. 5 years ago, I met Lucy, 29 female, at my buddy's housewarming. She was smart, gorgeous, and laughed at my jokes. Fast forward through dating, moving in together, the proposal, nailed it with a rooftop dinner, and we're planning our wedding. Everything was perfect except for one constant thorn in my side. Natalie, Lucy's college bestie and self-appointed guardian of female empowerment. Picture this chick. Yoga pants 24/7, constantly posting those inspirational quotes on Instagram, and always had something negative to say about me. This woman would roll her eyes whenever I spoke like it was her full-time job. My older brother Luke never trusted her. First time he met Natalie at a family BBQ, she started lecturing about toxic masculinity while he was grilling burgers. He just looked her dead in the eyes and said, "The only toxic thing I see is whatever the hell you put in your eyebrows to make them look like two slugs having a standoff." Lucy was pissed, but I nearly choked on my drink. Natalie was perpetually single, but considered herself a relationship expert who needed to protect Lucy from making mistakes. Yeah, one of those. Lucy always defended her. "She's just looking out for me." But every guy in our friend group knew the deal. Natalie was the friend who'd sabotage any relationship just to keep her friends single and miserable like her. Whenever we'd have a group outing, Natalie would find a way to pull Lucy aside for these intense whisper sessions. Lucy would come back with this weird look on her face, suddenly questioning plans we'd already made, or bringing up concerns that were clearly planted by Natalie. I called her out on it once, and Lucy hit me with the classic, "You're just being paranoid" defense. Natalie was like that one coworker who never actually does anything, but somehow ends up on every important email chain. Useless, loud, and constantly trying to add value by stirring the pot. Her whole personality was basically just a walking BuzzFeed quiz about red flags. I should have seen the red flags when Natalie started showing up unannounced at our apartment more frequently as the wedding date approached. She'd arrive with these Pinterest boards of alternative ceremony ideas that always seemed to involve pushing the date back. Or she'd bring over these documentaries about finding yourself before settling down that Lucy would get weirdly quiet after watching. Anyway, our wedding was a week away. 7 days. We'd spent months planning this thing, and I'm sitting in my apartment waiting for Lucy to show up for our final venue meeting. Table placements, meal counts, all that boring shit that suddenly becomes your whole life when you're getting married. 7 p.m. rolls around. No Lucy. Weird, but whatever. I should have known something was off when I realized she hadn't Venmo requested me for her daily overpriced matcha. This woman once reminded me I owed her $3.18 for gas from a Chipotle run. Radio silence was not normal. 8 p.m., still nothing. Multiple texts straight to voicemail. 9 p.m. That sick feeling hits your gut like when you're about to get fired. Lucy's phone is usually glued to her hand 24/7. This girl would text me from the bathroom, from meetings, while driving. I know. But suddenly, radio silence. By 10 p.m., I'm calling everyone we know. Her coworkers haven't seen her since she left work early for our venue appointment. Her gym buddy hasn't heard from her. I even called my buddy Finn, thinking maybe she was planning some surprise with him, but he was as clueless as I was. I call her sister Ashley. Nothing. Her parents. Nothing. By midnight, I'm legit freaking out. Drove to her apartment. Dark. Car gone. I used my emergency key to check inside, thinking maybe she'd fallen and couldn't reach her phone or something equally dramatic. Nothing. Bed made, dishes done, but her overnight bag was missing, along with some clothes from her closet. Filed a missing persons report the next day. The cop looked at me like I was overreacting. "Sir, adults are allowed to go places without telling their partners." I wanted to scream. This wasn't some random disappearance. This was a woman who texted me when she was switching from Instagram to TikTok, who called me on her lunch break every single day, who was supposed to be marrying me in a week. Day 2, her parents start freaking out too. They're calling hospitals, friends, even her old college roommates. Nothing. Her mom is convinced she's been kidnapped. I'm starting to think she might be right, but there's this tiny voice in my head whispering something worse. Day 3, police call. They found her safe and sound, chilling at her college friend Natalie's place 3 hours away. Relief hit me like a truck, followed immediately by the cold realization of what this meant. She wasn't kidnapped or hurt. She just left and told nobody. Not her family. Not me. Nothing. Police say she's safe and needs space. Needs space? A week before our wedding? I tried calling her. Straight to voicemail. I text her. What the hell is going on? Are you okay? Is the wedding still on? No response. I called Natalie's phone. No answer. I emailed Lucy. Nothing. It's like she's gone full witness protection program on me. Except the only crime she's witnessed is her own betrayal. But that wasn't even the full story. Later that night, I get a text from a number I don't recognize. Hey, this is Cindy, Natalie's roommate. We've met a couple times at Lucy's birthday parties. Look, I can't stay silent about this anymore. Lucy isn't just taking space. She's with her ex, Jake. Then comes a picture that felt like a knife to the chest. Lucy and Jake, looking cozy on Natalie's couch, his arm around her. Timestamp, yesterday. Jake. The ex she'd told me not to worry about. The guy she dated for 6 months in college before he couldn't commit. The same dude who conveniently started liking all her Instagram posts again right after we got engaged. Cindy's next text. She told Natalie she needed closure with him before the wedding. Natalie's been encouraging it. I thought you should know. This isn't right. I stared at that text for what felt like hours, my brain unable to process what I was seeing. Closure? A week before our wedding? Apparently in Natalie speak, closure means, let me check if my ex is still an option before I settle for you. I called my brother Luke. He's 38, divorced, and has the emotional sensitivity of a brick, but he's always straight with me. She's at Natalie's with her ex-boyfriend. Silence on the line. Then, well, god damn it, I knew that Natalie chick was bad news. What are you gonna do? After my brain unfroze from the shock, I made a decision. I had to make some calls. Each one felt like getting punched in the face. Venue. $5,000 deposit gone. Poof. Caterer. $3,500 vanished into thin air. Photographer. $2,000. Sorry, but we're booked that day now. Every vendor cancellation call felt like getting dumped all over again by strangers who took your money first. At least Lucy ghosted me for free. These people billed me before breaking my heart. Honeymoon flights, non-refundable. $1,800 down the drain. Resort booking, non-refundable. $7,500 for that dream Maldives getaway Lucy had insisted on, because apparently her dream was to ghost me a week before committing to me for life. Every call, every email was another nail in the coffin of what was supposed to be our future. All told, I was looking at about $15,000 in losses. And that's just my part. Her parents were handling her dress, and were supposed to pay the florist directly later, but I'd put down the initial booking deposit. Luke sat on my couch, watching me make these calls. When I hung up from the venue, he just shook his head. This is why I got married at the courthouse. Cost me $75. Divorce still cost $20,000, but at least the wedding was cheap. Then there were the calls to family and friends. Weddings off. I didn't tell anyone about Jake, just said things didn't work out. My mom cried. My dad kept asking, "What happened, son?" Like I had any freaking clue how to explain this betrayal. My cousin Pete, who'd booked a flight from Seattle. Dude, are you serious? I just paid $600 for a non-refundable ticket. My best man Trevor, who'd planned this epic bachelor party in Vegas that was supposed to happen this weekend. What the hell, man? I put down deposits for everything. My grandma Ruth, who was looking forward to seeing me get married before she kicked the bucket. Her words. Matthew, does this mean I return the china set I bought you to? I kept the receipt just in case. I've been married 3 times, so I know how these things go. I texted Cindy back, thanks for telling me. Honestly, did Lucy know you were sending this? She replied quickly, no way. Natalie would kill me. She's been telling Lucy that she deserves to explore all her options before settling down. Natalie's been bad-mouthing you for years. Convinced Lucy she was rushing into marriage. Great. So while I was picking out wedding cake flavors, my fiancé was being poisoned against me by her toxic friend and reconnecting with her ex. Cool. Then there was the ring. 1.5 carat cushion cut. Vintage inspired. Her dream ring. Cost me $15,000. I took it to a jeweler and got $9,800. Less than I hoped, more than I feared. That money went straight into offsetting my losses, which were still massive. The jeweler, an older guy named Saul, gave me this knowing look when I brought it in. Let me guess. She changed her mind? When I nodded, he sighed. Happens more than you'd think. Had a guy in here last week selling a ring he bought 3 years ago. Found out his wife was having an affair with her CrossFit instructor. Life's a bitch, kid. I packed up every single thing of hers in my apartment. Photos, clothes, that stupid carnival teddy bear I won her. Boxed, labeled, ready for whenever she decided to show her face again. Found one of those self-love crystals in my drawer too. The kind that supposedly wards off bad energy. Guess it expired before she ran off with her ex. Should have taped it to the door as a boomerang gift. I also printed that picture Cindy sent and tucked it into the box with our wedding invitations. A little time capsule of betrayal. Luke helped me pack her stuff. He picked up a framed photo of us and snorted. Look at your face here. That's the face of a man who doesn't know his fiancé is about to pull a Houdini. Should have seen it coming when she put that live laugh love sign in your bathroom. While sorting through her things, I found a journal she'd left behind. I'm not usually the type to snoop, but given the circumstances, I figured all bets were off. Flipping through it, I found entries from 3 months ago, where she'd written about seeing Jake at a coffee shop by coincidence, and how it had stirred up old feelings that she needed to process. There were pages about Natalie encouraging her to explore these emotions before getting married. Reading those words felt like being stabbed repeatedly. She'd been planning this. It wasn't some sudden cold feat. It was a calculated decision to test drive her ex before committing to me. And Natalie, that manipulative snake, had been the architect of it all. I added the journal to the box of her things. Evidence. Not that I needed it for myself. The picture from Cindy was damning enough, but in case anyone tried to spin this narrative that I was the bad guy in this situation. Day 4 of Ghost Bride Saga, still no direct contact from Lucy. Her parents are now calling me, demanding to know why I'm canceling everything without giving her a chance to explain. I tell them their daughter is at Natalie's house, deliberately ignoring my calls, and has effectively abandoned our wedding. I don't mention Jake. Not my story to tell. Her dad, Christopher, actually has the audacity to say, young people get cold feet sometimes. It's normal. Lucy's always been sensitive. You should be more understanding. Understanding? I literally had to file a missing persons report because your daughter couldn't be bothered to send a text before running off with her ex a week before our wedding. But sure, I'm the unreasonable one. 5 days of silence. Nothing from Lucy. Then the other shoe drops. I'm at work, middle of a client meeting. My colleague Nancy pokes her head in. Matthew? Sorry. Visitor says it's urgent. I walk out to reception, and there she is. Lucy, puffy eyes, messy hair, looking like she's been crying for a week. Matthew, she says, voice all thick with tears. Tries to step in for a hug. I step back. What are you doing here? I keep my voice low. Nancy at the desk is suddenly very interested in her computer screen. We need to talk, she whispers, tears welling up. Please, it's all been a horrible mistake. A mistake? Ghosting me and your family a week before our wedding to hook up with your ex is a mistake? Forgetting to buy milk is a mistake. This was a tactical nuclear strike on our relationship. I know. I freaked out. I got scared. Natalie said some things and I just panicked. I didn't know how to face you. I was ashamed. Matthew, I still love you. I want to fix this. She reaches for my hand. I pull away. Fix this? I say, disbelief in my voice. Lucy, there's nothing to fix. It's done. I canceled everything. Wedding's off. Permanently. Her face crumples, then morphs into something harder. You can't do that without consulting me. That was our wedding. Those were our plans. Plans you abandoned when you disappeared. I needed space. Her voice rising now. And closure. You never understood that. Always hovering, always wanting to know where I was. Now I'm the controlling boyfriend for checks notes, wondering where my fiancé vanished to a week before our wedding. And what about Natalie? I asked, watching her reaction. Will she be at the rebooked wedding too? Lucy's eyes widened slightly. Natalie was just trying to help me sort through my feelings. She's always looked out for me. Yeah, I bet she has, I said flatly. Your feelings seem to have led you to some interesting places. She looked confused for a second, then quickly recovered. I just needed time to think, to be sure. You owe me that, at least? After 5 years together, you owe me the chance to explain. I don't owe you anything, Lucy. You're being completely unreasonable, she snapped, mask slipping. This isn't all about you. I've been under so much pressure with the wedding planning. You try dealing with all the expectations. It's not fair. Translation. Jake wasn't interested in rekindling things, so I'm her backup plan. No thanks. The way she was acting, you'd think she was the one who'd been abandoned. Like I had somehow wronged her by having the audacity to cancel a wedding after the bride went AWOL. It was next-level delusional. Nancy was pretending not to listen, but I could see her eyes getting wider with each exchange. Tomorrow's office gossip was writing itself right in front of her. Lucy, I'm in the middle of a client meeting. I can't do this right now. Of course, she sniffed. Your work is always more important than our relationship. I nearly laughed out loud at the absurdity. Our relationship? The one you put on pause while you went for a test drive with your ex? That relationship? Her face went pale. What are you talking about? I didn't... Save it, Lucy. I know about Jake. The look on her face was priceless. Shock, followed by guilt, followed by the desperate calculation of someone trying to figure out how much I knew and how to spin it. That's not what it looks like, she stammered. Jake and I just talked. As friends. Natalie thought it would help give me perspective. Perspective on what? Whether you were settling for me? Whether he was a better option? Did you get your answer, by the way? Because it seems like you're back here, which suggests Jake wasn't interested in round two. Tears started streaming down her face again. Right on cue. You're being cruel. I made a mistake. I was confused and scared and... Lucy, I sold the ring. You're wasting our time. That stopped her. Her jaw literally dropped like in those cartoon movies. You what? Sold it. As I said, I lost over $15,000 in non-refundable deposits. The $9,800 from the ring barely made a dent, but it was necessary. You sold my ring? Her voice rising. That was my ring! My grandmother's setting was the inspiration. How could you? Your ring. I bought it for a wedding that you abandoned. It was a symbol of a commitment that you spat on. Inspiration doesn't make it an heirloom when I paid for it. But the money, she sputtered. What about it? It partially covered the venue, caterer, honeymoon, consequences of your actions, which still left me massively out of pocket. She just stared at me. You have to give it to me. That money is partly mine. We were getting married. We were. Past tense. No, I don't have to do anything except protect myself from further damage. My boss walks out, drawn by her rising voice. Everything all right, Matthew? Personal matter, Mr. Donaldson. Being resolved, I say, giving Lucy the get-out look. Lucy actually appeals to my boss. He sold my engagement ring and canceled our wedding without talking to me, she wails. Mr. Donaldson looks uncomfortable as hell. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to deal with relationship drama today. Lucy, this is inappropriate. Leave now, I say, trying to keep my voice level. But Matthew, our families, the deposits my parents paid. Your parents paid for your dress, which I assume you still have. They were supposed to pay the florist directly, but they hadn't when I had to cancel. I got stuck with their $1,400 cancellation fee because I made the initial booking. That added to my already huge losses. I have receipts for everything. You can discuss those charges with your parents. She looked slapped, ugly crying now. I made a mistake. Don't I deserve compassion? I leaned in slightly and lowered my voice. Compassion? Maybe explain why you needed closure with Jake at Natalie's place. You've been spying on me? She hissed, completely ignoring everything else I said. I didn't need to spy. People talk, Lucy. Not everyone thinks what you did was okay. She switched tactics so fast it gave me whiplash. I've been through trauma, Matthew. Do you have any idea what it's like to have anxiety about commitment? I'm suffering here. You're trying to punish me for having a mental health crisis. Oh, great. Now she's weaponizing mental health. Classic. This isn't finished, she said, gathering what little dignity she had left. You'll be hearing from my lawyer about that ring money. Oh, it definitely is, I replied. In the immortal words of Terminator 2, hasta la vista, baby. Nancy actually snorted behind her computer as Lucy stormed out, nearly tripping over a plant. Mr. Donaldson, to his credit, just gave me a sympathetic nod and said, Take the rest of the day if you need it, Matthew. I declined. Work was actually the one place where I could focus on something other than the dumpster fire my personal life had become. Later, when I told Luke about the workplace ambush, he nearly fell off his chair laughing. She showed up at your job? That's some gone girl shit right there. Next thing you know, she'll be writing a memoir called My Escape from Patriarchy: How I Survived a Week at My Friend's House with My Ex-Boyfriend. The audacity is what gets me, I told him. She acts like I'm the villain for canceling a wedding she abandoned. Like I should have just sat around, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for her to decide if she wanted to be with me or Jake. Women, man, Luke said, shaking his head. My ex-wife pulled something similar. told me she needed to find herself, and went on a yoga retreat in Bali. Came back 3 weeks later with a tattoo and a Brazilian surfing instructor named Paulo. Said she wanted an open marriage. I told her she could have an open divorce instead. That night, I checked my email to find a message from a lawyer named Gerald, claiming to represent Lucy in the matter of unlawfully disposed property, aka the ring. He was demanding I return the full value of $15,000, not the $9,800 I got for it, plus emotional damages of $5,000. I forwarded it to my cousin Jen, who happens to be a lawyer, with the subject line, "Can you believe this shit?" She called me 10 minutes later, laughing so hard she could barely speak. "Is this for real? She's trying to sue you for selling a ring after she ghosted you before the wedding? And she wants emotional damages? What's her claim? That you deprived her of the opportunity to pawn it herself." "Apparently it has a sentimental value," I said, mimicking Lucy's whiny voice. "Yeah, well, sentimentality doesn't hold up in court," Jen said. "Engagement rings are conditional gifts, contingent upon marriage. No marriage, no entitlement to the ring. Basic contract law. I'll draft a response that'll make this Pinkman guy crawl back under his ambulance-chasing rock." That night, Lucy's mom calls. Let's call her Karen, you'll know why. Karen has always been concerned with appearances. Polite but judgmental as hell. The type who'd smile while insulting your entire existence. She once asked me if I was comfortable in my limited career, or if I had aspirations. Classic Karen. "Matthew," she begins, fake sweetness dripping. Lucy is beside herself, distraught. "I can imagine," I say dryly. "Screaming in someone's workplace is tiring." Sharp intake of breath. "Now you listen here, young man. I will not tolerate that tone. My daughter is the injured party in all this. How rich. She made a mistake, yes, but your response has been completely disproportionate. Selling her ring? Canceling everything without consulting anyone? Do you know how this makes our family look?" And there it was. Not concerned about her daughter's behavior, just how it looks. She had the audacity to suggest Lucy's amends should involve me reinstating the wedding and returning ring money. When I called this delusional, she pivoted to sentimental value arguments about the ring design, a design picked from a catalog. Karen reminded me they'd paid for Lucy's dress and given us $5,000 for the honeymoon. I explained that money went to the non-refundable Maldives resort Lucy insisted on. I had receipts and bank statements to prove it. "Improper for you to have kept that money. I'll be speaking to our attorney about this," she threatened. God, they're all lawyer happy. When I detailed the florist cancellation fee I'd covered when they defaulted on their portion, Karen exploded. "Outrageous! You're trying to extort us. I want to speak to your parents about this immediately. They need to know what kind of son they raised." Her defense reached peak absurdity when she claimed, "Lucy just got scared. Young girls do these things. I myself had doubts before marrying Christopher. It's perfectly normal. She's 29, Karen, not 19. Decent people don't do these things." I almost mentioned Jake and Natalie, but held back. If Lucy hadn't told them, I wasn't going to be the one to drop that bomb. Let her deal with her own mess. This went on. Astounding entitlement. She genuinely believed because Lucy was sorry, a sorry I hadn't heard meaningfully, all burdens should vanish or be mine. She even suggested I apologize to Lucy for selling her ring. "You need to do the right thing here, Matthew. Lucy is willing to forgive you if you apologize and replace the ring. She's being very generous considering how you've embarrassed her." I was tempted to say, "You know what? I'll give her the ring money when she pays for the trust issues I'll have for the rest of my life." But I kept it professional. Luke's response when I told him about Karen's call. "Wait, so her daughter disappears for a week before your wedding, hooks up with her ex, then comes crying back when he doesn't want her, and you're supposed to apologize? What's next? You gonna write her a thank you note for destroying your life?" These people live in a different reality, bro. Honestly, Luke should start a podcast. Just him roasting relationship disasters and bad in-laws. Call it No Ring, No Refund. I'd subscribe twice. Karen's call was just the beginning. The next day, Lucy's dad, Christopher, hit me with an email that somehow managed to be even more condescending. He went full man-to-man mode, claiming we needed to resolve this like gentlemen. According to him, Lucy was just overwhelmed by wedding planning. The nerve of this dude suggesting I should forgive a momentary lapse in judgment blew my mind. Momentary? She ghosted everyone for over a week. These people were living in some parallel universe where disappearing before your wedding was just a quirky personality trait. Unreal. I kept my response short and sweet. A single line promising a comprehensive breakdown of all wedding-related expenses. Then Lucy's sister Ashley called. Ashley had always been the reasonable one in the family. "Matt, I'm so sorry about all this. I know Lucy messed up big time. Mom and Dad are being ridiculous. Thanks, Ashley. That means a lot. For what it's worth, I don't think she deserves another chance. Who does that to someone they supposedly love? And a week before the wedding? It's insane. At least someone in that family had their head screwed on straight. But Lucy's parents continued harassing me. So I sent one message to Karen. I'm sending you, Christopher and Lucy, an itemized list of all wedding-related expenses that I managed or was left responsible for. It will clearly show who these costs were originally owed by or who caused the loss. It will show that no one's profiting, least of all me, and will clearly state the $1,400 florist bill I covered on your behalf. Reimburse me or not, your choice. But further demands will get a cease and desist from an attorney. Clear? Dead quiet. Then, you wouldn't dare. Do you know who Christopher's golf buddies are? We have connections in this town. Classic Karen threat. Try me. Hung up. Not pleasant, but rage was a clean fire. They thought they could bully me into paying for Lucy's enormous mistake. Next day, I did it. Created a meticulous spreadsheet. Every vendor, every deposit, dates, scanned receipts. Highlighted the florist cancellation fee I was forced to cover. Attached ring sale proof and how that only partially offset my losses. I debated whether to include the photo Cindy sent me. In the end, I decided against it. My goal wasn't nuclear warfare, just establishing boundaries and facts. But I did save that in case things escalated. 3 copies. Registered mail, return receipt. For Lucy, for her parents. Luke looked over the spreadsheet before I sent it. Damn, bro. This is the most beautiful screw you I've ever seen. It's like poetry, but with numbers. Brings a tear to my eye. Then I texted Cindy, "Hey, just wanted to say thanks again for being honest with me. Has there been any fallout your end?" She replied, "Natalie's been sketchy. Knows someone told you something." Lucy moved out yesterday after a big fight with Natalie. Apparently, Jake made it clear he was just having fun, wasn't interested in getting back together. Natalie told Lucy she deserved better than both of you. Toxic AF. The irony? Natalie blew up Lucy's life just to prove some twisted point, then kicked her out the moment things got inconvenient. Loyalty? Sponsored by TikTok therapy and $12 iced lattes. So Lucy wasn't even staying with Natalie anymore. After her office stunt, the falling out with Natalie, and the rejection from Jake, she was back with her parents. My spreadsheet landed mid-reunion. The next day, I'm at work. Long day at a construction site. I get home around 7 p.m., and immediately something feels off. The air smells different, like her perfume. Lucy had been there. I'd texted her earlier that she could pick up her stuff from the boxes in the living room while I was at work. Just grab it and go. I'd leave the door unlocked between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Turns out she'd waited until later. I walk into my office and freeze. My custom gaming PC, the one I'd built myself, spent thousands on, the thing that got me through college, is absolutely destroyed. The tower is on the floor, side panel bashed in, components scattered. Someone had clearly taken a hammer or bat to it. Water from the cooling system is pooled on the floor. My hands are shaking as I pick up a piece of the graphics card. A $1,200 RTX card I'd saved for months to buy. Snapped in half. There's a note stuck to my monitor. Now we're even. L. Even. I'm seeing red but force myself to think. First, I called my neighbor Jeff. He's got one of those Ring doorbells that faces my place. I asked if his doorbell camera caught anyone coming to my place today. Yeah, actually. Your girlfriend stopped by around 5:30. Thought that was odd since, ex-fiancé. And yeah, it is odd. Any chance you could send me that footage? Sure thing, man. The footage shows Lucy clear as day, walking into my apartment at 5:38 p.m., carrying what looks like a small sledgehammer. WTF? She leaves at 5:52 p.m., looking smug. Brother She left my place like she just dropped the hottest diss track of the year, like Kanye storming out of an interview. Meanwhile, I'm standing over my graphics card like it's a war crime scene. I take photos of everything. The damage, the note, close-ups of the broken components. Then I text Lucy, "Why the fuck did you destroy my PC?" 3 dots appear immediately. She's been waiting for this. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? So that wasn't you entering my apartment with a hammer at 5:38 p.m. today? Silence for a minute. Then, you deserved it after what you did to me? Gotcha. Screenshot saved. What exactly did I do to deserve $3,000 worth of property damage? You humiliated me. You destroyed our future. You sold my ring. And that justifies criminal destruction of property? Great. Thanks for the confession. The police will be interested in that, along with my neighbor's security footage. You wouldn't dare. It would be your word against mine. I send her the screenshot of her own confession. It's not your word against mine when you just admitted to it in writing. Plus, I have video of you entering with a weapon. I filed a police report about the PC. Had to go through small claims court to get the money for the damages. But with the evidence I had, it was pretty straightforward. Lucy tried to fight it, claiming I had emotionally damaged her. But the judge wasn't buying it. Ordered her to pay $2,800 for the PC Plus court costs. It's been a few months now. Life just keeps going. After I sent that financial truth bomb and won the small claims case, things settled into silence. Blessed, golden silence. No more calls from Karen, no tearful ambushes from Lucy. I never got the $1,400 for the florist. Knew I wouldn't. Prying money from self-righteous Karen would be like baptizing a cat. But the principle was asserted. The spreadsheet detailed my complete financial burden, including covering their lapse. Lucy did pay the $2,800 for my PC, though. The court gave her 30 days, and on day 29, a check arrived. No note, just the exact amount. Small victories. What I did get was this gem from Ashley about a month ago. You are not going to believe this. Or maybe you will. Lucy tried to get mom and dad to pay for a healing retreat for her trauma from the wedding cancellation and the legal persecution. $3,000. Dad actually said no. Flat out said her healing could start with getting a job and paying back the deposits. They did lose on her dress and alterations. Mom's giving Dad the silent treatment. Lucy's having a hysterical circus. That right there was better than any $1,400. Entitlement hitting the family brick wall. Christopher finding his voice. Even better, Ashley dropped this bomb. By the way, Cindy sent that picture of Lucy and Jake to Mom. Said she couldn't stand the lies anymore. Mom confronted Lucy. It was apocalyptic. Lucy tried to say it was innocent, just closure. But Mom wasn't buying it. Dad actually packed a bag and went to stay with my uncle for 3 days. First time I've ever seen him walk out. Luke and I were playing Call of Duty on my new PC, upgraded thanks to Lucy's court-ordered payment, when I told him about the healing retreat. He nearly choked on his drink. A healing retreat? For what? Terminal entitlement? Advanced narcissism? I swear these people think reality is optional. What's next? A GoFundMe for her emotional support unicorn? My life's good now. Sold our couch, bought a new one just for me. Reclaimed my space. Gym regularly. Works solid. Mr. Donaldson even gave me a promotion after seeing how I handled the Lucy situation at the office. Dating? Hell no. My brother's take your time, bro. You just dodged a bullet that would have made Neo from the Matrix proud. Enjoy the freedom. She faced consequences of her choices. As my dad always says, the best revenge is living well. She made her bed. Now she's lying in it with her parents, complaining. I'm sleeping just fine in my drama-free apartment, playing Elden Ring on my upgraded PC that Lucy involuntarily helped finance. No random sobbing. No can we talk? Texts at 2 a.m. No stepping on hair clips in the bathroom. Just me, my controller, a stocked fridge, and the satisfying hum of a GPU that didn't cheat on me. As the great poet Ice Cube once said, today was a good day.